I was scrolling on my feed and I came across this video. Self-respecting men should not get married in 2K26. Cat Talks. The video was made 4 days ago and is currently at 37K views.
Most self-respecting men should not be getting married or ever in 2026, and this is why. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Women have everything to gain in marriage while men have everything to lose. And if you didn't hear me clearly the first time, let me say it a little bit louder for the people in the back. Women have everything to gain in marriage while men have everything to lose. It will always boggle my mind just how many people still don't seem to understand that when the proof is literally right in front of their face. I mean, it's clear as day. But what's so interesting to me is that I think that people do understand it to be true, but...
Really? You're probably the only woman, to be honest. I've never heard this before from a woman. Ever.
They're just afraid of calling it out and they still continue to go along with it, just in fear of being judged. Quite honestly, in my opinion, the way I see marriage, it's literally just a governmental play of control and financial gain. And I do think that many men have woken up to the fact of just how much marriage is an absolute scam in America, along with the American healthcare system, might I add. But when will so many other people stop acting like this is some outlandish idea to call marriage out for what it really is in this day and age? I really do feel that we're all programmed at a very young age to believe that we have to mark off all of these different things on the societal checklist in order to be deemed a normal human being in society. And if you say anything that counteracts it or goes against it, saying things like, oh, I don't want kids, I don't ever want to get married, then for some reason people will just look at you like it's the most outlandish crap you could ever say in the universe. And I also feel that most people these days make a lot of decisions out of
Peer pressure.
urgency, societal pressure, and desperation without really thinking about or understanding just what they're getting into. And most women will never admit this, but I feel that most of them only want to get married just for the security and social status of being married, along with
To be honest with you, I'll definitely say the social status part. I've seen too many women go as scrubs just so that they can say that they're married. To make their parents proud, their grandparents proud. Having that grandchild for their grandparents, having that child for their parents. Doing it for that social status. Outside the family and inside the family.
putting themselves and their partner in debt just to have the expensive wedding to show off and post on their social media. I often think to myself, I really don't blame most of these men for not wanting to get married these days when it just poses too much of a risk for them. Because I've also said before, you know, a man could spend years building up and succeeding in his life, you know, just building up all of these different assets, possible businesses, etc., just for one day to have some woman come and try to take it all away. That is, if she decides to change her mind. And then at that point, it's like all that you worked so hard to achieve is just gone. And, you know, that is, I couldn't even like possibly fathom that because, you know, in my own personal life, I've worked so hard for years to just try and save money and just be successful. And I just couldn't even imagine what some of these men have gone through out here, just losing everything in the process. Yeah. And then some people will say things like, well, you just got to get a prenup. And then I'm just thinking, well, that doesn't always guarantee your safety in the divorce, or that you're just going to get away scot-free. Because if you really stop and think about it, why would anyone in their right mind even consider signing a contract where a person is paid to leave if one day they decide to just up and call it quits? Or to put it like this, are pretty much incentivized to leave. Why would any man choose to put himself at risk of being at the mercy from a court system that dictates your financial future and then has complete control over you? I also feel that men truly don't get red-pilled until a woman has screwed them over in some way, which most of the time I think will come from when they get divorced. Because just depending on the situation, if that woman decides to try and take everything away from him, then he'll truly see how the system is set up against him. And also, if you didn't know, most studies have shown that women initiate 70% of divorces in the U.S.
70%? It went up. It went up. It's going up faster than you and I can imagine. It's just not an asset. It's a liability. It really is. I know a lot of us want it. She may say men don't want it. It's not the matter of wanting it or not wanting it. It's just not an investment. It's a liability. I may want to eat junk food, but I know eating junk food is a liability because I'll gain body fat. It will make me sluggish, and ultimately it's destroying my body. So at this point, it doesn't even matter what you want because it's not really what is best, especially these days.
I also just wanted to bring up a certain conversation I had with a gentleman at my job the other day. And I was talking to him for a little bit, and I think he was in his late 40s, but eventually we started talking about the red pill and manosphere content. And I think he said he was aware of it, but he wasn't really into it. But he had said he had gotten divorced about 3 years ago, and I didn't really ask him any in-depth personal questions about the divorce because it was really none of my business. But I did ask him, do you think you would ever get married again? Would you consider signing the contract again? And without any hesitation, he responded, oh, absolutely yes. That is, if I find the right person again. I didn't say this to him, but I immediately was thinking in my head, like, dude,
What is wrong with this person? I know somebody that is friends with somebody I work with, a coworker. This person went through 2 divorces and is currently back in their parents' place in their mid 40s because they lost everything to divorces. Let that sink in. The rest pill she speaks about, going through it, you can learn that from knowing people that went through it. It's better for you not to go through it yourself. Learn from other people's mistakes. That's a wise thing you can do.
dude, don't do it. Don't put yourself at risk again. Because I'm assuming he got away scot-free. He didn't tell me if he signed a prenup or not, or like I said, we didn't go into any personal further details. But to me, it's just like he seemed like the type that would still be going out there encouraging men to get married. And to me, it's like, okay, well, just because you might have gotten away scot-free and didn't, really lose everything, doesn't mean that there aren't men out here that, aren't going through it. I also remember one of my managers a couple of years ago for my first job, he was going through a divorce at the time, and I remember he would always say things to me and other people kind of jokingly, but not. He would always be saying like, oh, do not get married, do not, if you know what's good for you. And I really do feel that most people who are married are not always going to be honest or open about the struggles that they might be having in their marriage, and will continue to put on this facade of pretending to be happy when they're really not. I've also noticed that when you talk to certain people who put on this facade of acting like their marriage is just perfect, you always kind of see that little twinkle in their eye, kind of like the, oh, blink twice if you need help type of thing, like, help me, I'm being held against my will. And I think the sad reality is that a lot of people are unhappy in their marriages and will choose to stay with that person in fear of being alone, or just honestly not wanting to deal with the divorce process. And for the longest time,
And also dealing with starting over. you know, that's why I believe some people hold on as well. Going through the divorce process and starting over, if that's a goal in mind, that's a whole different animal itself.
told my family I'll never get married, myself at least legally. And they always tell me the same thing, which I'm sure a lot of people hear when they say that. And it's always, well, don't you ever want to find true happiness and truly be loved by someone? Oh, yes, as if me getting married or having kids will just make all of my problems just magically disappear and I'll never be upset again. People always love to bring up, well, you just got to find the right one, as if it's just easy all the time. And especially for men, they don't have lie detectors on them 24/7. And then, like I said before, a lot of them will tell you that there's a lot of bad faith actors out here who are really good at playing the part. And, all of a sudden just one day changing up on you or leaving when you least expect it. For the record.
And the ones in church are the worst. They'll use the Bible, they'll use the Word of God against you. And for all Christians out there, keep your ears and your eyes open. Don't just fall for the God-fearing woman, because that is a line I've heard many times, and it fools people. It fools people. Those are some of the worst. I hate to say it.
For the record, my family does watch my videos, and I'm sure within the next couple of days I'll be hearing, you need to take down that video. It's not right that you're discouraging people from getting married. At the end of the day, I can't change anybody's mind. I'm just trying to let them be aware of the potential risks. I believe that you can be committed to a person for the rest of your life and not sign a contract, but then I still always have people telling me, well, no, you just don't want to put in the work for the actual marriage. And it's not that. It's just, for myself personally, I've kind of thought for years, why would I want to have the government involved in my relationship?
My question is, what happened for her to be saying all this? Is it because of the people she knew that went through divorces? Does she have siblings? Does she have kids? I don't know what is making her say this. Even though I agree with a lot of her points and she makes valid points, my question is why? Anyway.
But people still choose to have the government in their relationship because apparently it's just the right thing that you're supposed to do in society. I've also heard people bring up common law marriage, and I'm not sure if it's recognized in my state or not, but I might have to do more research on it. But also, if people choose to not get married legally, you can still have the wedding, but I think it's technically called a commitment ceremony. And
really?
I always ask this question to my family and many different people in my life. What are some benefits of marriage that you can't just get out of a normal committed relationship? It's just absolutely hilarious because they will sit there for a second and just not be able to give me a straight answer. And then every single person who gives me an answer has just said tax breaks. And I'm just like, wow,
tax breaks.
That's just so romantic.
Tax
and
breaks.
If somebody had given me the absolute stupidest answer I'd ever heard, and they were just like, well, you get a child out of it. Okay, but you can still have a child from a normal committed relationship too. But people
outside of biblical values, outside. And that's what really caused all of this. Marriage used to be when you actually have sex with your partner and have a child. Now people do it before marriage. So there's nothing about marriage that's different from a relationship nowadays. It's backwards. It's backwards. If we can go back to wild virgins and we lose our virginity when we're getting married, that would be better, honestly. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm perfect, but things are out of whack right now.
People only sign the contract, I guess, so their child won't be considered an out-of-wedlock child. I mean, I guess they could still even have the ceremony and still be committed to one person for the rest of their life. But if they choose not to sign that contract, then, is their child still considered out of wedlock? Also, going back to the whole finding true happiness thing, if you're relying on a relationship or marriage to bring you true happiness or worth, I just think that's a very dangerous mindset to have. Because yes, you can love your partner, you can care for them, you can, be committed to them. But if you're all of a sudden one day that person leaves, then you're going to feel like the only thing that has brought you happiness has left. And I just feel like you're not going to know what to do with yourself. Because in my view, true happiness comes from finding peace in your own solitude and just really appreciating it, and also finding ways to love and take care of yourself and focusing on your own self-improvement. Just overall finding ways to improve in your own life first. Anyway, that's all I really had to say, but if you are a man, I really do urge you to just really think about the decision you're about to make if you choose to get married legally. And there are some men that have gotten married many times. Got married again, got divorced. And all I really have to say is there's a certain quote that fits that perfectly. It's insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And also, men, just know that hypergamy is truly alive, and it's hungry and insatiable. And just make sure you protect your assets at all costs.
Place your assets in your parents' name. I don't really have anything else to add to that video. I'm just surprised I'm hearing that from a woman, to be honest. I'm very surprised. I definitely hear what she's saying about a lot of the points she mentioned. My question is, what enabled her to talk about this? Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for reacting with me. Like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more reaction videos. God bless.
Metro Boomin, want some more, nigga.